tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your #1 source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Get the pose. Yeah, there it is. What up, everybody? Welcome to Big Brother AfterBuzz TV, your one and only spot for the after-show entertainment. I'm your host, Ryan Hooks. Joining me today to my left, Roxy Striar.
Hello, happy to be here.
Striar, there it is.
We have to start with the...
What?
Okay, I get it. I know.
Do it. Say it. Get it over with.
Okay, it's not a get it over with thing. It's a huge, amazing, big deal. I'm sitting with a brand new daddy.
That's me.
Hashtag Elise Victoria, his beautiful new daughter. Congratulations.
Oh, yes. She's like 5 hours old, and here I'm at AfterBuzz TV hosting a show.
That is dedication,
Big Brother,
baby.
I love you.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly.
Big Brother, your second priority now.
More than our mom.
It just got bumped to slot number 2.
Yeah, well, you know, things have to happen occasionally. So let's talk about Big Brother. So I think that this week of Big Brother was probably like the worst week of the season, but also probably like the best week of the season.
Okay, here's the problem. It's almost like we watched amazing television and then we got it all erased to start over. So I'm having a little bit of a problem caring about what happened because it doesn't matter anymore. It's all null and void. However, it was a great week.
Right.
So I'm struggling.
So here's why it was a great week. Number one, my two favorite moments probably. Number one is when Christine showed up at the jury house and they just cold shouldered the crap out of her.
Unfortunately, that didn't get rewound.
That happened.
The poor Christine. Oh, man.
And they felt so glad that she got booed, and they were so happy. Like that's like a justifiable moment for every single person in the jury house.
But can I just talk about that for 1 second? I'm feeling really bad for Christine.
I agree.
All right, so I came on your guys' Big Brother after show a couple weeks ago, and I expressed my opinions on how you do what you got to do in this game to get further. And a lot of people disagreed with me. And, you know, I really appreciate all of you guys. You guys have been amazing fans writing on YouTube, iTunes, everything. You guys are so awesome. I respect all your opinions. And I've never been married. I have to say that. So I can't completely say that I understand what it's like. I've never been on Big Brother also, so I can't say I know what that's like. But I don't feel as if Christine is the devil. And a lot of people are portraying her as if she is a horrible human being. Like a really, really bad. It's not like she went on the show and had sex with somebody.
Yeah, she just cuddled. I mean, there are some lines that probably got crossed in the aspect of a marriage relationship. But at the same time, we don't know the type of relationship that her and Tim have. So we don't know what they talked about beforehand and said, hey, you know what? This is okay. This is okay. This is not okay. And this is okay.
Right. You know, it's not the move that I think I would have made. No. So I'm not sitting here saying like, oh, yeah, that's totally what I would have done too. I don't think I would have been comfortable doing that if I had been married. But she talked about it before with him. And he even said that. He said, I said to her, you got to do what you got to do. You know, it seemed like they had some sort of understanding. I felt like the booing was really harsh.
It was really hard booing.
And then I felt like the jury house was even harsher because those are her actual friends.
Supposedly.
I mean, granted, she did burn Nicole pretty bad.
I know. And I think part of it, and a lot of people were arguing with us talking about the booing actually being because of the relationship thing with Cody. A lot of people argued that it was because of the fact that she backstabbed Nicole and Donnie and Zach and got them all out of the house.
Right. Which, I mean, if that's what it is, I just have never heard somebody get booed like that.
That was harsh.
It was really
There was one
harsh.
person in the back. You could just hear them just tearing into her.
I wouldn't have been surprised if tomatoes had been thrown. It was that kind of booing. No joke. Can you imagine? Poor girl sitting there. People start like, that's what it was like.
I saw something on Twitter, and I think it was fake after I looked into it more, that apparently they were saying that she had a nervous breakdown and wanted to not go to the jury house, wanted to go home, and Big Brother made her go to the jury house because she's under contract. And I don't know if it was true or not, but it's something I saw on Twitter, which, doesn't mean it's real.
Do you think she should have acknowledged it at any point? Because I keep hearing all these stories about how she heard about her relationship and she was upset about it, but she didn't want to say anything or she didn't want it to be shown on television. If I had walked out of the house and I started getting booed, I kind of would have been like, what just happened? Yeah. But it just went over. And then at the jury house, she just sits in silence. I would have been like, guys, what's up?
Like, yeah, and she did acknowledge it in the diary room a couple times, talking about it, talking to Tim directly. And I think she maybe, because it was a double eviction, got shortchanged in what she said afterwards. When she was talking to Julie, she didn't have the time that other people have had to explain her story and her side because it was a double eviction. They had so much to do in that one episode.
But in the jury house, she did a little bit. When she walked out and she walks in and everybody's making fun of her, the way she laughs, everything. She walks in and then it's silent and so incredibly uncomfortable. I would have just been like, is everybody okay? I mean, I know I burned a couple of you. It was a game. I'm really sorry. I swear.
And we don't know that hasn't happened, too, at this point. Because if they edit what they want us to see, especially in the jury house where there's no cameras to watch 24/7, we don't know what else happened shortly thereafter. Because they were sitting watching the show together, and her and Nicole kind of were joking a little bit, but it was still very tense.
Very awkward. I wouldn't want to be anybody in the jury house at that moment.
All right. So my second favorite part of this week is a combination of things all involving Victoria. Number one is this, like,
classic.
Just her. I've always thought that Caleb was kind of delusional in the things that he thinks is going on and, like, what's really going on around him. But this week, Victoria was just straight off the chains delusional. Everything that was like, I'm a princess and I'm a warrior and, Derek is my Robin to his Batman and all that. But I loved the fact that Derek manipulated her to pretend so that if she got voted out, Frankie would think that Derek was the safe bet to take to the finale.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable what Derek did here. I'm so with you. I think that, first of all, he's an incredible player. Brilliant. Second of all, I love watching Victoria now. I went from being like, every time she was on screen, oh my God, I think she's the funniest thing that ever existed. Her sitting there every time, she's like, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to win this veto because I'm a warrior princess. I'm like,
of what battle?
What? But she really believes
the Nordstrom Rack? I don't know.
She believes it. Nordstrom Rack. She believes it every time. And I'm like, you go, girlfriend.
You know what? Like, and I almost think that Big Brother as a production has finally caught on that they can make fun of her.
Yeah.
And people like that they're making fun of her.
Right.
And like half this week was
She kind of likes it.
I think so too.
Honestly.
Like you have to kind of think that at some point you're that person.
Yeah.
Like how do you not know?
It's like that sketch that Dane Cook has about the friend that nobody likes, and he's like, if you don't know if you have a friend, you're that friend.
You're that guy.
You're that guy. That's Victoria. She's like, oh, we're all getting along so well, except everybody's making fun of you. But I'm totally okay with it at this point. I'm almost sad to see her leave.
I think
if she
still, I think she's gonna win the $50,000 at this point. Like
you really do.
Who doesn't take her to the second place with them?
But that's what's interesting. We heard Frankie address it this week, and it's the first time I've heard anybody address it. And I've been thinking the whole time. At this point, you got to get her out of the house because, yes, she could be the person you want to take, but she's the person everyone wants to take. No one, you would have to be dumb to be the person who gets to pick who you go with and pick anyone but her. You would have to be a moron.
And you end up losing the money because you don't pick her.
Right. Do you think that she will automatically lose now, though? Because I almost think we saw Frankie say it today. I'm voting for Victoria if she's getting that far. Like, he was making a joke, but...
Yeah, he was, but it's true. I mean, why not,
I don't know.
Although she's not really competed very well in anything thus far, so her losing isn't really... It's just her doing her best.
Right. I don't know. I almost think if she went up there and gave a speech like, this is why I deserve $500,000, people would be like, okay.
Sure.
How you skated by this far, I don't know, but okay.
We forgot about you, apparently.
It's amazing.
She's the ultimate floater of Big Brother, I think.
She is.
And that's a lot of people that I've talked to who have been on reality shows with Big Brother and Survivor and Amazing Race and things like that, is part of the things you have to do is be in the middle of the pack for a while. You don't want to separate yourself as a person who wins, and you just don't want to get last place. Second to last place is good. Third to last place is great.
Yeah.
You're just there to stay for a while. Once you get past the third and fourth week, then things start to break apart and strategies are formed, and you can drift through like she's been doing for weeks.
The problem with going in a different direction is we're going to see what's happening with Frankie right now, and obviously we'll talk about this. You get to a certain point, if you've won too many times, you have to win or you're going home.
Yep.
You have to win every single one from a certain point until the end, or you're gone.
I always think about that with on Survivor or Redemption Island. The first time they did that, Matt, he was on Redemption Island for 34 days of the 40-day show. He won Redemption Island like 10 times and got back into the game, but he spent more time without the group than he did with the group.
Yeah.
And it's almost like now at this point, like Frankie should just win. You know, he's gonna be in all the veto comps, so he can have some control.
All it takes is him to lose one time.
Yep, and he's gone.
If he loses, literally from today on out, if he loses once, gone.
Right. And I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, to me, Cody lost this game when he didn't put Frankie up. Caleb lost last week, when they didn't make a move and put Cody up. Those players, to me, have lost this competition at this point because those moves they didn't make when they had the opportunity. And now all of them, you saw this week, Cody, the whole week, man, why didn't I get Frankie out last week when I had the chance? Why didn't I man up and do what I had to do? And that was the thing we talked about with Cody from day one, is he's a really nice guy. He's a great guy. And I would love to be friends with him. But in Big Brother, he's too loyal and too nice of a guy to do what has to be done when it needs to be done to win the game.
But let me ask you a question. Cody has done more things actively, won more competitions than Derek has. And we hear Dan talking tonight, and I know that we'll probably address that more.
Yeah, let's talk about now.
But, okay, so I love Dan. First of all, he's one of my favorite players of all time. He's incredible. But we hear him say something that I thought was really interesting, which is Derek going to be able to explain to the jury house what he's actually done in this game?
They know, and they addressed it. Well, you saw them, they edited them talking about the jury house when they were watching this week's competition.
Right.
And now that the jury house is getting to watch Derek every week, because they're showing them the episodes, they're seeing his game, and they are all figuring out.
Well, they're seeing bits and pieces, but they're not seeing the whole
They're seeing
thing.
the stuff that we're seeing.
Right. I mean, I just don't know if they're going to be able to, because we saw the whole season and they haven't seen the amazing things he's done. I think that if you put him up against somebody like any of the other strong
think anybody
males,
but Frankie, Derek wins right now. Anyone in the house.
But you think Frankie?
I think it's a tighter vote if it's Frankie. I think that he beats out Caleb because of the things he's done manipulatively and the social game that he's played. Because Caleb's won some competitions. He's won the most next to Frankie, who's left in the house. And I think he beats Cody because he's been kind of working Cody. But I don't know if he goes against Frankie, who wins that one.
Right.
That's the close vote, and that's the 4-5 vote that you're not sure.
Right. It's hard for me because I just feel as if he has my vote, and I'm like, whose vote wouldn't he have? I feel like he will win no matter, and I do think he would beat out anybody, but it's a really difficult position to be in because we've seen the whole season as opposed to these jury's house. They don't know everything he's done, right?
But they actually probably know more because they're around, and everyone in this house at some level has the sense of what's going on around them.
Right.
Generally, people in the house, when they're going home, they know they're going home because they're treated differently the week that they're getting voted out.
Right.
They know who's together in some aspect because they see stuff. They see who's talking to who when. And so they sort of already know. Now that they're getting the justifications and the video feeds that they're seeing at home, they're seeing the stories that we're seeing also. But I agree. It is a tough sell for Derek to sell what happened, and Dan was spot on with that. But I think, again, anyone but Frankie, he wins.
If they're seeing what we're seeing now, though, and they see the move he just played with Victoria, I mean, that was just... I can't believe he got her to agree.
And she did it again when she was giving her speech. She's like, Derek, I hate you. Like,
unbelievable.
That wasn't even prompted.
What happens now when she ends up staying in the house? I'm just speculating, but she ends up staying in the house, and she has to pretend for the rest of the few weeks that she hates Derek. I mean, it's going to be like the biggest joke of all time. Is he going to be like, you have to keep this up? Or are they going to have a fake reconciliation? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
And I think now that with the BB Rewind, it's going to play out differently. I think if Frankie goes home because of his moves as HOH, so if he doesn't win HOH again, and he gets put up and goes home, Derek wins. There's no doubt in my mind that he doesn't win.
Because Derek has tricked every single person into the house.
Right.
That they should
He's
take
got
him.
the final two alliance with Cody, who Cody will uphold to the end.
You think Cody would, if it ended up being Cody, Derek, and Victoria, you think Cody would take Derek?
I don't know about that. If Cody's smart, he wouldn't.
Of course. But do you think realistically, because Cody has been so loyal, I really think... Because I think Cody is the sweetest guy. Oh my God, you're so sweet, Cody. I'm sorry. I really think he would end up taking Derek.
And then he'll end up losing.
Yeah, I really think
like
he
in
would.
Survivor this past season when we lost to Tony because he's like loyal to Tony.
It's not worth it to be loyal at that point.
Nope.
But I think he would do it. And I almost think Caleb would too.
And that's what Dan was saying. Their loyalty has gone farther than we've ever seen an alliance go.
Right.
Usually at some point, the men tear each other apart.
Well, they did a little with Zach, you know.
But Zach was a little bit more boisterous than the other people.
It's true.
And he crossed some lines that if he would have kept his mouth shut, he probably would still be there.
It's true, but when Dan says, I haven't seen them turn against anybody, I mean, we kicked out Devin, we kicked out Christine, we kicked out Amber, we kicked out Zach. So we have turned on some people, just this strong core we haven't. And they tried to get Frankie out before, too. And just it hasn't worked.
Failed. Yeah. He won that competition by himself.
Right, exactly.
Which was the one they were trying to throw, which was awesome.
Amazing.
All right.
Every time they try to throw something.
So what did you think about the whole Jeff and Jordan getting engaged? Congrats to them.
Oh my God, I completely forgot about that till you just mentioned it. It was so overshadowed by the rest of the week.
That was Sunday. It was early. Sunday's episode was a little bit slow in terms of everything because it was mostly about Jeff and Jordan.
It was adorable. I mean, that is so adorable. I love them. I think they are the cutest couple. I was surprised that she was not just crying the whole time. If that had been me, I would have just been weeping.
Really sweet.
It was really, really sweet. And the fact that, you know, she is always teasing him, be more romantic. It was such a beautiful setup. Bringing the families was so smart. Sharing it at the Big Brother house. Inviting us into their into the proposal. I loved it. I thought it was really perfect.
So here's a question for you. Because I love Brendan and Rachel. They're probably my favorite people from Big Brother, like in history. And I know them personally outside of the show and outside of Big Brother. And they're so nice and so sweet. Do you think that Jeff and Jordan are now becoming the CBS superpower?
The it couple.
They're the it CBS Big Brother couple because they were on Amazing Race also. Jeff now hosts the show on CBS. Plus getting to do the engagement because Brendan and Rachel's wedding was on CBS.
Right.
They did Amazing Race together twice. They did Big Brother together twice.
Absolutely. I mean, the two couples, they rival for first place. Yes. I don't think that Jeff and Jordan trump Brendan and Rachel. I don't think, of course not. But I will say the playing fields are now even, and I bet neither of them mind. I just think that they're probably happy for each other, the two successful couples. I mean, I think this makes it so that this show has a more successful rate than The Bachelor, which is a show about that. So
two successful weddings that are still going on. Actually, Brendan and Rachel just had their anniversary this past weekend, so happy anniversary to them.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah, and speaking of Rachel, since we're talking about her, for people in the Los Angeles area, the 25th, which is the finale for Big Brother, there is a party that's hosted with all the cast you can buy tickets to. It's going to be at Club 11, which is in West Hollywood. You can go to their website and the tickets are available. You can go meet all the stars from this season.
Are you going to be there?
I'm going to be there.
I'm going to be there.
Yeah, I'm for sure going to be there.
Cool.
Definitely check it out if you're in the West Hollywood area and want to come to a good party.
I love it.
Club 11's awesome, too. They make sweet drinks.
Yeah, and we all want to celebrate together because we're super fans.
And there'll be a bunch of other people there. I think... I know Liza Stanton's going to be there from Big Brother Canada.
Yeah.
And I know there's several other reality stars from Survivor and whatnot that'll be there. I think Hayden Moss is going to be there.
Sounds like a good time.
I think it's going to be sweet. So check it out. And then while you're checking things out, why don't you go to iTunes and rate us? I mean, that's what I would do. I would give us a 5 stars. I would go to YouTube and make comments.
If it was up to me, yeah, I would totally give us a 5 stars. I mean, I'm just saying. I think we're pretty cool.
Why not? Done. It's done. It's in and we're in. All right, so...
Shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs, TV. Why not? All right, so like I said, Sunday's episode was pretty light in the aspect of mostly revolving around Jeff and Jordan's wedding. Yep. Frankie did win the HOH competition, balancing the most balls in the giant shovel.
Frankie would be able to balance the most balls.
Beast Mode Cowboy was right there, though.
Okay, laugh at my joke a little bit.
Oh, most balls in a shovel. I don't think that's where he'd put them.
Oh, that's what I tried to do. That was better. But oh, God.
He has the penalty.
Teamwork.
Done. The other thing that was major in Sunday's episode, because there was really only 4 things that happened, is the button. The game-changing button got pushed. That was Wednesday. Or Tuesday. Tuesday was Tuesday.
All our days are messed up.
I'm all screwed up with this new schedule. Exactly. I did like the button thing was sweet because it was set up like all the game things are on the wall. The button was covered at first. But this is one thing, though, that for me, this started the week for Victoria because she... technically was the bottom hand on the button, so she was the one that pushed the button.
Okay.
So if there would have been a prize, she would have been the one to get it because she was the first one touching the button.
Wow, I like the way your mind thinks.
Yeah.
None of them noticed that.
None of them noticed that because you think about if it's who pushes the button, you win a prize. If that was how it was spun.
Well, I have a question for you about this button, though.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that CBS makes up rules as we go. Big
Probably.
Brother makes up rules as we go.
Probably.
And depending on, they have different number of jury member, or they start the jury on weeks, or the double eliminations are weeks, so that they think that their favorite players will stay, and that there's a strategy behind all of this for ratings.
Sometimes, I think so.
So I'm not stating my opinion. I don't agree or disagree strongly because I don't know. But I do wonder, why would they choose to put the button this week then? What if they did it before they saw Frankie won, but they would have to assume that Victoria would be going home this week, depending, I would think that they would think that. So did they want to keep her around? Or?
Well, I know they did some stuff, and I feel like part of it was rigged before, where Frankie was potentially going home and they made some changes in the game. And I mean, I feel like there has to be, in my opinion, in a lot of these shows, and I watch a lot of reality shows, there is often, in my mind, strategy from production in the way that things are done so that certain people have advantage.
Absolutely.
I actually...
Because they pick storylines and they want them to follow through.
Yeah, they as they edit each week, there's a primary storyline, a secondary, and a third storyline.
There's the villain, there's the hero,
yeah,
whatever.
Exactly. And actually, I feel like this past season on Amazing Race, that happened to Brendan and Rachel.
Yeah.
There was this season with CBS doing the same thing. They had non-elimination legs, more legs than any other season, which made them extend an extra week of filming because of the couple they wanted to stay. And they ended up getting second place.
Right, and I think that shows probably do that all the time for ratings or for whatever, because the hard part about reality TV is you don't know how it's going to end, so you have to pick very early on which storylines you're going to follow, and if something big ends up at the end that you didn't predict, then you kind of missed the build-up to that. Yep. So I think right now they really have been pushing this Frankie thing, and Frankie as a villain, so it's confusing to me that this is a competition, he's a dancer, and so he would clearly have great balance. Yep. So I think that it was something that he could win. It was definitely either going to be him or Caleb.
I was really surprised how well Caleb did, because he's so big. I mean,
but he has all of training.
I know.
So I thought that it was geared for Frankie to win. So I was wondering why they would want him to win and then rewind.
Because they wanted him to backstab people this week. What they were looking for, in my opinion, in a storyline is Frankie getting up there and pissing people off and selling everyone out because he's trying to win the game. Now, this is his week to win. This is his make or break it week. If he got up there and said, you know what, screw you, screw you, screw you, you guys are on the block, I don't care about our alliance anymore, I want to win Big Brother Rewind kicks in. Caleb almost won the first time around. Now everyone is pissed at Frankie again. Frankie is now the villain again, and he's basically sold out his alliance.
So if they were planning this, they assumed Frankie would win, he would burn a lot of bridges, and then it would come back to bite him in the butt.
Yes.
However, he stood very loyal. So now I wonder how that all is going to play out, because he didn't play into the hand.
If he doesn't win HOH, he goes up this week.
If he doesn't win HOH, he certainly goes up. But there's still power of veto, which
he could win.
We saw him win last week. Is it going to be the same power of veto? Probably, because it was the same HOH competition.
I feel like they got to change that, though, because that's you probably remember your answers. Actually, that would be really cool if they didn't, because you use the same boards, you know the answers, but how well do you remember them?
I think they would just change the faces.
Maybe. Manipulate them around again, do the same competition with different faces.
I mean, if that's what they're doing, they're literally replaying the week, then that would be what they had to do. That would be the fair thing.
Big Brother Freak Show was creepy.
Big Brother Freak Show really gave me nightmares. I mean, come on. That was really scary stuff. Do you remember which was your least favorite face?
I think the one with Donnie.
The one with Donnie.
The bald head one. Like, yeah, it was I actually wish they would have had one with a beard, though.
The one with Hayden was really, really scary, too, though, with the Hayden and Amber combination. I mean, just because Hayden's hair on a woman, it just looked so bizarre.
Weird. I like the one with Joey's hair.
Yeah.
The blue hair looked good.
Yeah, the blue hair does look good. Rockin' Joey.
Why not?
How do we know if it was Joey or who's the other one? Adam? What's her alter ego?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, that's up to you guys. I don't remember.
It was a boy, Corey, Cody.
I thought it was Adam.
Maybe it was Adam. I don't remember.
I don't remember. Who's Joey?
It's Joey. It doesn't matter.
Team America.
Team America. All right. And actually, speaking of Team America.
Okay.
Team America had a mission this week.
Oh, good segue. Right on.
Boom.
Oh, yeah.
Get it up high. They had to. I'm glad they picked this of the two. This is my favorite.
Yeah, me too.
Of the two. Although at this point, Team America, I think, in America's eyes, is sort of burned out, and they're ready for it to be done.
Yeah, I am happy for them, though, because even if Derek ends up not winning,
he still has won like $25,000.
This is literally the reason I'm happy that Team America still exists. because I want Derek to win money, and if he doesn't win the game, he deserves to win money. And he won the $5,000 when he decided to fill up that little thing for the snowman competition. And then how many competitions?
3 or 4.
Yeah, so I am happy that he's taking home some cake no matter what.
Yeah, about 20, 25,000.
Right,
Perfect.
which is awesome.
So they had to convince the house though that there was a mouse or a rat in there, and then have them stay up all night looking for it.
That was some really good
Cody
acting.
was a child.
That was unbelievable. No, he's adorable, but come on, I can't believe Victoria in her direct-to-camera. She's like, these men are not men. You call them out, Victoria.
Well, and you know, I expected the most out of Victoria in terms of the screaming. She's the high-pitched, oh my God! And she gets like higher and then higher on top of that.
I wanted to see her like go and put on cargo pants and gloves and be like, I'll get this mouse.
Caleb was back there building mouse traps out of Scotch tape and
it's so
super
sad.
glue. And
watching Caleb, I just think he's so amazing and I love him. But you plant one little seed in his mind and it's like, everything's like, let's kill it. Let's go get it. You know, he's always in charge of the neighborhood watch. Caleb and Cody both. You say one thing to them, and it's so funny because we are in on Team America's joke. But them watching this back, they must feel so...
I'm glad they showed it to them.
Yeah, but obviously not the parts that we know about.
Right, the parts that we know about the whole competition and all that.
Yeah, Cody looked like a little baby.
He did. So,
it's okay, Cody.
But they won. They got the $5,000 this week, which is cool. It was way better than the play that they put on that was terrible.
I thought.
I liked
the play idea. The play was the worst idea ever. Why he thought that America would vote on that.
I liked it as an aspect of something to do in the house to make fun of each other because that was funny.
Right, but it's not a competition. Of course, people would say yes to that. That's not something to overcome.
Right. It wasn't. Yeah, there was no objective. I actually liked it if they would have done the mission trying to save Donnie and saved Donnie. I think they would have won the money on that.
I think they would have won it too.
I think America would have voted for that.
I mean, we're now going back weeks, obviously, but I don't think that it would have been right for Donnie to use Team America. I thought that was manipulative. Although I do miss Donnie.
I do miss Donnie too.
Oh, Donnie.
All right. So the button the whole week. Have you seen the video on YouTube that they were talking about when Caleb and Cody were in there just trying to Judy chop the button?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, so there's this video, and it's just like, it's called Hillbilly Karate or something like that, and it's basically this guy who's just a straight hillbilly, and he's like, listen, I'm going to teach you my 3 steps to karate. I'm going to Judy chop, I'm going to ninja chop, I'm going to karate chop. And he like does these karate chops moves, and he's just this total hillbilly guy.
See, I haven't seen it, and I still thought it was so funny, so I have to go watch it.
It's even funnier after seeing the video, because he's trying to sell this like self-help tape on learning karate, but he just is like an idiot.
Caleb's scary.
And
Caleb's scary with his judo chops.
Caleb was Judy chopping.
What is it? Judy chop.
Judy
chop.
You got your Judy chop, you got your karate chop, and you got your ninja chop.
Oh, now I know.
Now you know.
So what's the ninja chop look like? Can I get a little preview?
No, I got nothing. I'm not scared like Caleb.
Yeah, you're a little scary.
Oh, I'm all right. I'm all right. I'm a dad now. I can't be scary.
Oh, that's true.
I have to be loving.
What's a dad chop? There you go.
Good girl.
It's a pet.
There's a bubble dad.
Hashtag Elise Victoria.
Hashtag Elise. I'm trending her now on the internet. Her photo got over 300 likes today. That's like more than any photos that I've ever posted.
She's a little cuter than you, maybe.
She's a lot cuter than me, that's for sure. And she's a girl, so that always helps. So I did like also this week the speculations on the button and like what it meant, because Derek and Frankie both did talk about the potential for a rewind or something happening with the game. It was briefly mentioned, but never like confirmed by anyone. But they both did say it. But I like Caleb just going off the rocker with like, dude, maybe a big monster truck's gonna come through the front door with a bunch of money I can give to my friends, or maybe I can like get a bunch of celebrities to come battle me, and Mila Kunis is gonna marry me.
I'm like
Mila Kunis is about to have a baby.
What the hell are you talking about? Like, why would Mila Kunis come walking and marry you? Yeah, he's off the rocker. I think that the button was a really cool aspect, and as a super fan as well, I would need to push it. But I was very surprised with Frankie because yes, he's a super fan, but he's also a very smart player, and there was no way this was going to turn out to be good for Frankie. After he won and then pushed it, I was like, I'm surprised. I'm surprised he's not advocating for them not to push it, because there's no way. There's nothing that this could have been that would have been good for Frankie.
I mean, it was getting pushed regardless. So.
It was, but I don't know. I thought that maybe he would say something, but he didn't.
Well, and it was funny that Derek was the most apprehensive about pushing it.
Right.
Because he knew that something game-changing was going to happen.
Because Derek is so meticulous in everything he's done, and it's so planned out that if anything happens, his game gets twisted. And not that he can't hang with it, because he can, and he clearly can adapt to different things that have been thrown at him. But his whole game has been planned out, and he's done an amazing job executing it. So this button was a wrench.
Yes, it was. So, I want to talk about the things that happened post button. We talked a lot.
Let's talk about that.
We talked a lot about that, and I know it's funny that Cody ends up back in the dinosaur suit, so I can't wait to see that next week. And this is the point where I'm gonna look at everyone in the face and tell you, spoiler alerts. If you don't want to know what happens any farther than thus far on Big Brother, now is the time to turn your volume down. I will give you the big hand sign when you can bring it back up.
So when we bring it back up, we'll start clapping again.
We're getting the on fire hands.
Okay.
Okay, so turn it down now. All right, so I know that this is what's going to happen this week because I already looked it up and I couldn't wait to find out. I hate when competitions end, especially like when the week is sort of a fluff week and there's like...
Because nothing happened.
There's not enough to fill the whole week anyway, so they bring in a whole wedding thing and they bring in Dan and all this, and then they don't finish the competition.
You got to BB After Dark at that point. You got to.
I know. So I immediately... I'm a big... Big Brother Leak is the one that I like. They have like tweets pretty much every like 5-6 minutes about things people are saying.
Awesome.
Anyway, so Caleb wins the Big Brother competition this week, and that's actually... I was sitting thinking about who's going to win. Caleb's going to win because he was right there. And he should have won, and he kind of ruined it for himself. He got rushed instead of staying calm.
And now he's pushed himself.
And now he knew what to do, and he wins the competition this week. And
if you're watching, he's not waving his hands.
That's not my hands. Not at all. I talk with my hands. That wasn't a big hand movement.
Okay.
All right. So now the other thing that we know is the nominations are Victoria and Frankie.
So very typical that Caleb would put up Victoria and Frankie. It's unfortunate because Frankie didn't put up Caleb, so Caleb really would have had reason to put up any of the other guys.
Yep.
But Caleb's not thinking like that, and he's got Derek in his ear, I'm sure. Being
and the
like,
thing that Frankie argued with Caleb after the fact is that Derek hasn't been on the block at all. Right. And Frankie is the one that Frankie of all the people knows what Derek's doing. He's caught on to Derek's game more than anyone else at this point.
Right.
And is potentially, you know, the one that can take him out.
Well, I do want to talk about Frankie a little bit, but I'll do it after you start waving your hand so people can come back from spoilers.
Bring it back, bring it
back. Okay, we brought it back.
All right.
So here's the thing. I really have been a fan of Frankie's, but the way that he acted this week was so... he was so on his high horse about everything. I brought everybody to this point, and everyone knows that they're here for me, and really I think these guys will help with that. They're not going to want to throw me up because I did bring them here, but if they were smart, they'd send me home, all of these things.
And he rubbed in hard to Derek.
Right.
Beat him in the Big Brother Freak Show by less than a minute.
Exactly. He was like, oh, you were so close, honey. That condescending thing.
Yep.
So no matter if you were just watching, you know who won Head of Household. If you don't know, no matter who won, you would have to think if it isn't Frankie who wins, Frankie is going up on the block.
Yeah, I've been saying that. Yeah.
Of course.
And that's why I said the edit was played up so that he burns bridges in some aspect and he goes up.
Right.
And I even think about when he almost went home when he won that competition by himself. Ariana Grande was in the audience that night.
Really?
I don't know if you saw her or not. They showed a side shot of her head, and she was in the middle of the audience, planning to be there the night that her brother was supposed to get voted out, but he pulled off that competition.
She must have been so proud.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And for me, we picked favorites coming into the show. Frankie was, every single one of us liked Frankie and the stuff that he brought to the game. The part where Frankie lost me was when he won that. And he did the whole Ariana Grande's brother thing. And the way that he did that, like expecting people just to be so happy and excited and like praise him for it, that was where he lost me.
I had a hard time with that as well. I do have to say there's something about him, though, that I still love him as a player. I still do.
You know, the thing that gets me to every week, so a lot of the cameras in the house are mirrored. They're all two-way mirror. And if you watch him, and also Victoria does it as well, they're looking at themselves in the mirror, checking themselves out, fixing their hair, and it's always like lingering, and then they turn away.
You know what's really interesting, though? I was watching Big Brother, and my roommate walked in, and she was like, how often is the show on? I'm like, 3 times a week. She's like, I feel like you're always watching. And I was like, well, yeah. She says, why is he talking to himself? Why are they talking to themselves? I go, you have to think about it. These people are going a little stir crazy.
They have to be.
Yeah, they're in the house. Like, I would goddamn talk to myself too.
Especially now at this point that there's only 5 people left.
But we saw in Wednesday night's episode, Frankie had like a good 45-second monologue that we saw. Probably was way longer, of him just going to himself.
Well, so this past week also, with people talking about stuff, Utopia aired on Fox. On Sunday night's episode, Big Brother beat it by like 3 million views. They beat it by like 6 million views on Tuesday, and like it's supposed to be Fox's big premiere show. However, there's a scene in there, and this is a brand new show. There's 15 people there. There's a woman talking to herself, basically like, "You're okay. You know what? You need a hug. I'm gonna give you a hug." She's hugging herself, talking about like, "Oh, just picture your dog licking your face, and she'd give you a hug if she was here, and you deserve a hug." Like, already crazy, and it's only been on for 2 episodes. So think about being in this house for 30, 40, 50, 60 days. I'd go crazy too.
Yeah, so I really can't blame them at this point. No. And
especially if there's no one really to talk to anymore.
Right, absolutely. And if you feel very alone and your back's against the wall, and I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for this because people don't seem to like Frankie anymore, but if you're feeling that way and all you can hold on to is like, this is who my sister is, I don't know. It was obnoxious, and if I was in the house, I probably would be like,
and she's killing it too.
Yeah.
She had the opening act of the VMAs.
Yeah.
She opened the first football game.
Everything is crushing right now.
She did the national anthem for the Seattle opening football game for the NFL. So she's like everywhere right now.
And now, she wears those cat ears.
Yep.
Those cat ears are selling out all over she's an idol right now. So she's really, really rocking it, which is great. And I'm happy for him and I'm happy for her. But it has no part in the Big Brother game. So I get why people are annoyed with it.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine what I'd be feeling like in there. I don't know what I would say or come up with.
Yeah, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do some predictions about what we think is going to happen on this next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I think that no matter what happened, Frankie wins the power of veto.
If he's up or not, he wins the power of veto. I guess it depends on the competition. I think that Frankie is your #1 target for the week if he wins the power of veto. However, I think that probably, I don't know, I guess Victoria probably goes home, or Cody.
Yeah. I don't know. It's tough. Honestly, if I was Derek at this point, I think I would try to lose because everybody's going to expect him to use it in a certain way, and he has no enemies right now.
Nope.
And
he's been losing towards the end, at least getting far enough. I mean, what we saw with the TNT episode, he lost there. So yeah, I hate to say, I would kind of like to see the finale be Derek and Frankie. Like, I think that would be probably the most entertaining because, I mean, hate Frankie all you want, he still has played a good game.
An amazing game.
And Derek has played a great game as well. I think Derek edges out Frankie in the finale, but I think it's the best option for the viewers and what you see.
It's going to be a real shame if Derek doesn't make it to Final 2 because he deserves to be there the most. In what situation could you see that happening, that he wouldn't make it?
If Frankie doesn't get voted out this week, there's a point now where he's going to get in people's ears and say, listen, Derek's been doing this, 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 and this. You have to turn on him. He gets to Cody, or probably Caleb. He would get to Caleb before he would get to Cody, I think, because Caleb's a little more weak-minded than Cody. But if Frankie gets the opportunity to get into someone's ear after this week.
Okay.
That's when I see Derek going home. But you know what we'll do is we'll find out next week. And also, if you're like loving Big Brother Australia just started this week. They've had 2 episodes. It's actually really good so far. So if you can get on YouTube and check it out, all the episodes are posted up on there. Cool. So if you want more Big Brother, you can have Big Brother Australia.
Don't you always want more Big Brother?
So, Roxy, why don't you tell us where we can find out more about you?
Oh, you can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar.
Oh, yeah. How do you spell that, Roxy Striar?
ROXYSTRIAR.
Like, kind of like liar?
Ha ha ha.
Or fire! And as always, you can find me at RyanHooks92 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat. Guys, thank you so much for the
Snapchat.
Dude, I love Snapchat. I have so many people from different shows that are like, dude, I'm watching Big Brother. Like, oh, I love you after show. And
that's awesome.
I Snapchat people. Like, I'll be sitting at home, like, eating cereal, no shirt on, like, sending Snapchats to people. Like, thanks for tuning in.
More importantly than that, though, hashtag Elise Victoria.
That's my new daughter's name. She was born today, September 11th, 2014. I am going to have her viral by the end of the year.
She's going live.
She's going viral. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We'll see you next week on Big Brother After Show. Later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.